Last night, I watched two of the most cis straight men that I have dated in the last 6 years dance together, connect, and like I have incredible chemistry with both of them. And the first 3 quarters of the dance, I was just sitting there being like, holy cow, this is ridiculously hot. And then the last quarter of the dance, I got teary and tender. And I was like, this is a freaking dream come true. Like, it's 10 years since I came out as poly. I had a heartbreaking divorce that really took a toll on me, my kids, all of us. It's been so hard, and I have paid such a high price. And despite all that, I have never thought that I made the wrong decision. And I've had a couple other relationships where I have felt celebrated in being poly. It took a while because at first I just felt tolerated. And then I was like, holy crap, am I really like, this is fine with you? You're not upset that I keep talking about this person? You actually want to hear about what happened with me? Like, that was big, but that was in more of my queerer relationships, queer relationships. And somehow that was amazing, but also watching these two people dance last night and being like, holy crap, I have such great chemistry, so much closeness, so much love and trust with both of them, and they don't have an ounce of possessiveness over me. I am a sovereign being. We have had zero drama in the last year. Like, I have been in such hard poly dynamics, and I have spent so many hours processing, and it feels like such an accomplishment to have gotten this far. And then for these two to be like the most cis straight men that I've dated, like, gave me hope for humanity. Like, wow. It's not just my queer relationships where we can be non-possessive. Like, this is possible. And even when you got one 6'2" hottie and another 6'5" hottie dancing next to each other, who you're like, these are two of my favorite bodies that I have had the pleasure of interacting with in a while. So I'm just like, how the heck did I get to be so freaking lucky? It was not easy. And one of the ways that I feel like I counteract the high price that I have paid is by sharing the hard earned wisdom that I have with other people in the hopes of making your path easier and smoother and helping you like break out of the patterns that we think of as love. I call that now invisible codependence, but we think it's love and we think it's care. And so we stay in it. But in reality, it's it's costing us time. There's going to be, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's going to hurt in the end anyway. Like, you're waiting for your partner to feel better about things, or you're waiting for them to get on board, or um, you're moving slowly, like whatever it is, it's not actually going to get better. You're just kind of kicking the can down the road. And so to be able to like point out and be like, this thing, the longer you keep doing this, the harder it's going to be on both of you. Is that really what you want to keep doing? Like, what is it that you're so afraid of over here? And let's look at that. And that is what is going to move you forward way faster in this relationship and every other one you have. And if your partners are also committed to their self growth, and if you have this depth of connection with them, then you'll find each other again, and you'll find each other and find ways to relate from a place where you are being true to yourself first. That's why I call my approach self-centered polyamory, not just because my mom called me a narcissist when I wanted to open up my marriage. Like, culturally, we get called selfish and narcissistic for prioritizing our wants and needs and desires, and for deciding that no one else besides us, my gut, knows better for me than my gut. No, n- mm, no one else knows better than my gut what's right for me, right? Like, I listen to that now. That's how I got in this freaking hot situation last night, because I had two dances with this person and my body knew. And now we've had time for things to play out. And I'm like, I knew that then. I didn't have to ask for permission. I didn't have to check in with anybody. I didn't have to go home and process anything. I didn't have to worry about how anybody else was going to feel about it or a price that I was going to have to pay for it. I just got to say, how do I feel about this person? Oh, I've never, in 10 years of going to these partner dances, wanted to make out with someone after the second dance. I waited till the fifth dance. We took a break, came back, 3 more dances, and then I was like, I just said it. I was like, I've never in 10 years wanted to make out with someone I just met at dance that night. And he was like, me neither. Want to go outside? And I was like, okay. And then, like, 5 minutes later, we were kissed, and it was so good. And it was like, okay, I keep getting green lights. This is a yes. And then we hung out, and now it's been almost a month, and it just keeps getting better. And this is like the icing relationship on top of the other incredible relationships that I already have in my life. Like, this is just 2 of them. I have multiple people in my life who I have incredibly deep, emotional, intimate, connected relationships with that were personally sovereign beings, that we want what's in, like I want my partners to be true to themselves as much as I want to be true to myself. I want my partners to, I want to support them as much as I want to be supported. It's not love to put pressure on the people we love to change in order to make us happy. That's invisible codependence, in my opinion. I talk more about this in my trainings, but that's not love. That's using people to try to get a feeling that you have. It's trying to get people to make up for the fact that you're compromising on yourself and you want them to show up better. That's not love. And I get to love people and accept them so fully. And it's a process, but I am here for myself in these relationships. I am not leaning on somebody else in a way that feels really good while you're leaning on it. But then eventually, we're not made to hold other people up. We need to hold ourselves up. And so when I hold myself emotionally, um, I get to accept people and support them in the healing and the change that they want to create in their own life for their own reasons. And I can give them feedback on it if they want. I can, like, I've been able to get to a point with all of my relationships for the last year. I have another video about my line chart of how many hours of processing I've done in each year for the last 10 years versus how many hours of pleasuring, we'll say, it, that I've done. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? I don't know, but it's great. Pleasure, processing, my chart. What was I going to say before that? I don't know, but I don't process anymore. I have great deep relationships with people who love me, that I get to be independent and autonomous. Oh, that their problems are not my problems anymore. It's quite freaking refreshing, actually, to love people, love yourself, and love your other people so fully that you can be there to support them in dealing with their problems without making their problems into your problems, and then the fact that it's your problem making it their problem also, and blaming them for the fact that their problem has become your problem. That's yours. It's not theirs. And that's good news, because then you can change it and you have control over it. Yeah. So, like, things that literally a year ago was when I had a big breakup with one of my partners who I've since reconnected with. I don't really believe in breakups. I think of them as relationship evolutions. That was huge. Like, that's the reason that I'm here recording this video, was because of how heartbreaking that was. And this idea, I was like, oh man, if my husband, who adored me, and this person who I know adores me and is super poly and super compulsive, if I can feel this hurt and betrayed and upset by both of them, it can happen with anyone. And if it can happen with anyone, then it's not about a lack of, like, this is not about a lack of love. So what is it about? And that's when I was able to figure out the things that I like, down to pinpointing the moments. I can tell you the moments that I made a decision, which down the road made me feel heartbroken, betrayed. Like, not in the moment. In the moment, felt great. 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road, I am heartbroken, devastated, like, feel betrayed. But you can't be betrayed by someone else if you haven't betrayed yourself first. And so it's been a process. I'm not going to go into it here because I have trainings where I already went into these things. So go check out my trainings. But there's, like, it's been such a shift in the last year. And the things that in the last year with this same person were so painful for me now, because I am holding my own feelings and caring for myself, because I've accepted the reality of what they are and are not capable of. And I've taken the actions to care for myself. They're dealing with the same problems that were, I can't swear in ads, the same problems that were so upsetting to me last year that it seemed like I was the problem because of how upset I was. And now I'm not upset. I'm doing like, every time they make a decision now that I'm like, I do not feel like this is good for you. I'm kind of disappointed. And, like, I wish they weren't. And then I go home and then I go meet, literally the night that that person was supposed to be here, I meet somebody else that's turned into this incredible relationship. Their problems are not my problems anymore. And then it's their problem. And so the other day I was like, sure, give me a call. Like, tell me what's on your heart and mind. Like, I can have so compassion and patience and love and care because I didn't, like, lay down on the floor in the path that someone's going and then get mad at them for walking on me. Nah, it's way easier. I just get out of the way. And then when they walk on somebody else, I can be like, oh, yeah, that must have been hard for you because you don't want to hurt them or whatever. It's so refreshing. And in a way, it's hard, but it's not. People think that poly is hard, but in my opinion, it's not the poly that's hard. It's the personal growth that is being asked of you in your poly relationships. And because most people aren't willing to do the personal growth, they stay stuck in these dysfunctional or patterns, invisibly codependent patterns. And that is hard and painful. But if you're here watching this now still, you are someone who is willing to do the personal growth. This is not about your inability or lack of desire to do the growth. This is about you not having the clarity of how the invisible codependence, which is more nuanced than regular codependency, how that's showing up in your relationships and in your your feelings and your patterns, and what to do about it, and how to hold these things, and when to how to set a laser focused boundary that is exactly the right amount that you need to take space without creating more distance in the relationship than is necessary. I didn't know this was going to be such a long video, but I am so passionate about this. It means so much to me to get to share my hard-earned life experiences with other people. And it's so good. And it's not just oh, this is my one good day. If to be totally transparent, right? The hardest part for me this year is that there have been some days and nights and that I have been alone and I have had to hold myself. And I'm stronger for it. And I've learned about it. And it's allowed me to show up so that every freaking time I drop my mouth guard, excuse me. Every time that I hang out with somebody, it's sweet and fun and connecting, usually hot, but nourishing and emotionally intimate and connected at the very least. And we're not trying to convince each other. It's so beautiful. And I didn't know that it was possible. I thought I did know. There was a part of me that and the other part of why I was sad last night was I wanted so badly to get to have that type of connection in my marriage. We separated because I wanted to open up the relationship and he didn't. And I didn't want to break up my marriage. I didn't want to lose my kids and not see them for months at a time. We now have 50-50 custody, but they live in Florida and I go back and forth between California and Florida every month. I did not want all of those things. All I wanted was to love the person that I loved and get to love someone else too, because I create incredibly deep emotional connection. You feel it? We feel it. That is how I operate. And I just wanted to be able to have that within the relationship that I had. I lost my train of thought again. Welcome to me at 2:30 a.m. in the morning. I totally didn't plan this thing at all. But yeah, I am here. This is the year, and it's been 10 years now that it's like coming together where I'm not only the last year I've been like living relationships, but I haven't had time and energy to share what I'm sharing and like what I've learned. My dad passed away 2 years ago. Like the divorce, I've been trying to get settled into two different houses on different sides of the country. Like I just getting my work out into the world was not the priority for the last year, but it is now. And so I get to show up this way. I get to have videos like this. I get to have, which you're probably seeing this on an ad. Like I'm doing ads so that I don't have to show up consistently all the time, but I can still support people who can find my programs. Betrayal proof, that's an hour-long training. It tells you exactly what I figured out to recognize those moments where down the road I'm feeling devastated, but I could have changed that earlier on. Well, now I do change it. Like I recognize those moments and I'm like, okay, and I know what to do. And it keeps me from feeling hurt in those ways later. 2 days ago, I recorded my training Zero Drama Poly. That one's almost 2 hours. Yeah, if I go into that, then this will really be a long message. But I don't have polydrama. I do my inner work. I have feelings come up. I process them. I come back to my partner and I communicate and I make requests or I tell them how I'm going to change things and implement a boundary for myself. But we're not in drama. I don't have the pain. We don't have the fighting. I'm not waiting for permission. Like, it doesn't happen. So I have Zero Drama Poly. I have my week-long, well, I have a book and a board game in the works for this year. The board game, I don't even know I don't know what the Facebook rules are, but it's sovereignty, and the first word starts with S. And it's not personal sovereignty, but it's pleasurable type of sovereignty. And then, I mean, it's also personal sovereignty, but the title. And then my book is coming out. It's called You're the One. It's a play on words because it's like, oh, you're the one. And I'm like, honey, you're the one. You're the one that has to do the work. You're the one that needs to shift in this relationship if you want to be happy. And that, so I have those. And then I have a 1 week immersion for right now it's 20K. It'll go up this year. But where we sit down for a half day together, 3-4 hours, whatever feels right for us. Talk through everything you got going on, where the challenges are, what the relationships are, like what your decisions you have to make, how your relationships and your business are interacting and impacting each other. And then for the rest of the week, also get me on on asynchronous coaching of whatever platform works for you. And so that like I can help you talk through and figure out like, okay, this was the answer. How do you want to handle that? How do you handle that in a way that honors your sovereignty? You are a sovereign being. Would you like to start acting like that? Would you like to start living the life that you can have when you honor your inner truth and your knowledge, just like you probably, if you're watching this, you already do in your business, but to do that in your relationships and to not feel like you have to pay a price for it. You will have to, there's a price you are, because of the codependent decisions and that have already taken place, you're going to have to pay an initial price, probably. But after that, like I've dug my way out of my past poor decisions. And I'm in this place where I just keep meeting people and we keep finding like, where is this level of sweetness of connection today? Because it can change over time. But people say that polyamory is They're like, but are you like, how are you committed? I'm like, I think I'm far more committed than most monogamous people because there is nothing that is going to shake this. It's like the difference between like a stable building and a earthquake stable building. I don't know that much about it. Or like a brittle tree and a healthy tree that can flex. Like I am building solid, resilient relationships that don't depend on boxing in someone's desires and what feels right to them. Because that is like the water's going to leak out. Eventually, it's going to get out there. I don't do that. And so these are long term relationships that will change over time. But that love and the care and the spark of connection that we have with each other is not going to go anywhere, and not for very long when it does. And if it does go for a long time, that's fine because I have other people and other resources and I have myself. All right. I shall get off my soapbox now. You shall go on with your life one way or another with more of me in it or not. But I'll be here. And when you're ready, come. Oh, yeah, that my 1 week program. And then I also have a mastermind that, because there's no place to go that I know of where you can talk about being a 6, 7, 8, 9-figure business owner and talk about your kinks and talk about your poly life. And like those things all interplay together and it's all about power and self-worth. Like they all tie in together. But until I created it, because I could either go to the poly rooms where people couldn't really relate to my business successes, or I could go to the business rooms where people they're like so stuck in their monogamous, cis, straight, hetero, I was going to say both, relationships that they can't relate to this. And I am creating a place where you can bring all of those pieces and you're not going to get shamed for the play you had last night that's edgy and disturbing if it weren't between two consenting adults. And you can, just like bring it and share it and create a shared culture around it where we are all devoted to our personal growth as it shows up in our business, as it shows up in our relationships, and just have like, poly be normalized, queerness be normalized, kink be normalized, whatever. So yeah, that's 100K pay in full, 120 pay monthly, 10K monthly. So that's what I got for you. And if you're still watching this 28 minutes in, go sign up. Like it almost makes me cry. I don't know who you are that is watching it this far. You need this. There's something in you that is probably quite desperate to be heard and seen and understood and put at the forefront because those desires you have matter, those feelings you have matter. And if you're here watching me, I'm speaking to those parts. And those parts are not going to go away. And if you can go away, then you'll have Jiminy Wendy on your shoulder, in your ear, when you're like, oh man, wow, it's possible for two cis, straight, gorgeous, tall men to dance together while watching the woman that they've been involved with, without a shred of possessiveness and like connect. It's amazing and it's possible. And now you know. Sorry, and you're welcome. Yeah, without so much processing and drama, but also with so much love. Okay, that's all. Nice to meet you. What's up? I'm Wendy. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. I'm Wendy. Wendy Garrido. Okay, take care. Good night. Bye.